right, so before y'all rip on me, if you guys remember, I lost a bet. Jets won the preseason game 31-27, and I lost a bet because I bet with my brother a few days before the matchup that if the Jets won, I would wear Jets apparel for any video I did on Monday and the Boys in the Big Apple podcast. And if the Giants won, he would have to wear Giants apparel and on for the Boys in the Big Apple podcast. So ultimately, the Jets won. I'm not going to make a podcast episode about this. Because cut downs are a day away and then you have the waiver wire, it just doesn't make sense to release a podcast. And my schedule's not really free before Monday, so I might as well just throw out a video and say, hey, listen, this is what I got from the preseason game, and then we'll go right into it as well. So we got offensive takeaways, you got defensive takeaways, standouts of the preseason, duds of the preseason, and at the end of the day. So for the offense, Tyrod Taylor got popped early, and Antonio Williams did as well. The Jets were hitting hard. They played their starters about a quarter and a half, and they were hitting hard. Quan Alexander, some of the other guys on that defense. Michael Clemens is the one who knocked Tyrod Taylor out of the game. Should have been roughing the passer by the NFL rules, yes, but I'm not going to sit here and talk about it 100 times because it really doesn't mean anything. The Giants lost the game, not because of that call, but because of the way the defense played. Davis Webb looked good overall. He's looked good this preseason so far, led the Giants to 2 wins basically. Threw for 202 yards, 30 for 38, 1 touchdown that went to Austin Allen. So he looked good, not really too many bad throws. There was one throw where, it was just like, where are you throwing it? What are you doing? But hey, listen, everybody has those throws. Like the last game, the running game definitely struggled. Outside of Davis Webb and Tyrod Taylor running for a little bit, and then you had the end around to Wan'Dale Robinson, not much out of the running game. Matt Breida, 3 carries, 1 yard. Antonio Williams, 2 carries for 6. Sandra Platzgummer, 2 carries for 8. Gary Brightwell, 2 carries for 11. And Deshaun Corbin, 6 carries for 23 and 1 touchdown. And that's under 4 yards per carry for almost all of them. Not great. Gary Brightwell and Platzgummer did have over 4, but still not great production in the running game. Mostly, I guess it was just against the Patriots. Blocking was average at best. Devery Hamilton played left tackle for almost the entire game, if not the entire game, and he struggled. He played left tackle a little bit against the Patriots, and then when the Giants had a bunch of injuries, what happened is he switched over to left guard, and he could be our starting left guard going into week 1. So a little scary there, but then again, who knows? He might be one of the surprise guys that gets cut. Austin Allen caught the only passing touchdown. I mean, he's been decent this preseason. And then Deshaun Corbin showed some shimmy, in the receiving game a little bit. So we'll see if he makes the practice squad. In terms of the defensive side of the ball, I'll talk about positives first before we get to the big elephant negatives. Almost nobody on defense, except for the linebackers, inside defensive linemen, stood out. Pretty obvious. Austin Calitro probably has had the preseason of his life. Tackle for a loss, a pass deflection, and an interception touchdown off of Joe Flacco. Excellent day for Calitro, and I would be surprised, and this is my honesty, I would be surprised if he makes the roster because he's a veteran guy. You're not going to keep him on the roster. If he goes to the practice squad, great. We have a veteran voice there. Micah McFadden with the forced fumble. I forget who was the ball carrier on that play. It was Michael Carter. He had the reception, boom, forced fumble by Micah McFadden, and the Giants picked it up. O'Shane Ximines with 2 quarterback hits. That wasn't even noticeable, to be fair. Nick Williams, Justin Ellis, Jalen Holmes, and Tate Crowder stood out. Tate Crowder from the linebacker position. Mostly the linebackers, and interior defensive lineman Nick Williams has had a nice 2 games thus far in the preseason, at least the last 2. And then Justin Ellis showed up a couple of times, and Jalen Holmes as well. Let's talk about the bad, and that was the secondary. The secondary was horrible. Listen, if you can't cover because of your youth, it's one thing. But if you can't tackle, that is just terrible. Cordell Flott made a couple of tackling mistakes, and some of these lankier guys they couldn't get anybody to the ground. It took 2, 3, even 4 guys to get, let's just say, Tyler Conklin to the ground or any of their bigger tight ends like Trayvon Wesco. It was bad. And, one of the staple plays in the game that showed that was the Braxton Berrios touchdown. Easy screen pass, Cordell Flott. Guess what? You're right there. And he does not make the tackle. What does Berrios do? He escapes all the tackles because that's the guy he is. He goes into the end zone. He ties the game. So that was not good. Harrison Hand, who we claimed off waivers from the Vikings, was beat on a touchdown to Denzel Mims. I didn't think he had it in the first one. I'm like, you know what? This is a touchdown. And I thought he was going to be at least decent for the New York Giants, but I guess that showed that I was wrong. A guy I've been high on this entire preseason, Khalil Dorsey, he fucked up the entire last drive. There's no good way to put it. The pass interference, I believe it was on Calvin Jackson, and then all the way to the end zone, 4th down. Calvin Jackson didn't have to do much, goes to the left side of the end zone. Looked like a little bit of an out route right there. On the touchdown for Chris Streveler. So they didn't stop Chris Streveler, and Zion Gilbert pass interference on the Nate Metters interception, who has played, quietly, but he's been productive at some points during the preseason. Definitely this game and the last game, but not just the secondary. I mean, the edge rush was just not getting there. And if you're the Giants, you're a little bit worried because if Azeez Ojulari and Kayvon Thibodeau are not playing in week 1, or one of them is, who's going to be on the other side? Who's going to help stop the run? Quincy Roche, he had a couple of nice reps, but not too much you can talk about right there. Tamon Fox, nothing. Jihad Ward, nothing. So, bit of a worry. Definitely. Standouts of the preseason. I'll point out some by position, even though maybe others at their respective position didn't stand out. Linebackers, Darian Beavers, who's now on the IR. Tay Crowder, Micah McFadden, and Austin Calitro. Wide receivers, Colin Johnson, David Sills, and Alex Bachman. Quarterbacks, Daniel Jones, at least for the one game he did stand out, so I have to give credit there. Davis Webb. O-line, Devery Hamilton outside of this game. Defensive lineman Nick Williams, Jalen Holmes, and Ryder Anderson. Ryder Anderson really didn't stand out this game. He missed a key tackle on a big run. I forget who was by. It was either Breece Hall or Zonovan Knight. And then the duds of the preseason. Harrison Hand, Darren Evans, Elijah Griffin, Cordell Flott in this game, Zion Gilbert. So the Giants are really thin at that corner position in terms of depth and in terms of solid veteran depth because the cornerbacks were just not good in the preseason. And even when Aaron Robinson's been struggling, not good. In terms of the O-line, Jamil Douglas, he was bad. Max Garcia, nothing to show. So it's a little worrisome. It is a little worrisome, and maybe some will say it's a lot worrisome. We'll see what happens with the waiver wire and the cuts Tuesday and Wednesday. And then end of the day, the Giants, yes, O-line secondary depth issue. They cut Ryan Santoso, Josh Revis, and Keelan Doss already. Someone said they cut a couple of other guys, like Elijah Griffin and Yusuf Corker. I'm not going to even say they did yet because I don't know who said it. Like, I only saw from beat reporters it was Santoso, Revis, Keelan Doss, and also will they trade Darius Slayton? I mean, that's going to be one up in the air. I know a lot of Giant fans, when it comes to the wide receiver position, they're campaigning for him right now because, well, who's an outside wide receiver that can get separation, and that can take the top off of a defense? You can't think of many on this roster other than Darius Slayton. But anyway, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when the live stream pops or a video drops. Appreciate you coming back. Also, thank you for the ones who went out and watched the vlog earlier. If you haven't already, I'm going to create timestamps in the video because there's a lot of good moments in there. Casual conversations, us kicking field goals, game clips as well, in important parts of the game. Also, 8:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the three of us, boys in the Big Apple, tonight. Donovan Mitchell sweepstakes, NBA schedule comes out. The Yankees, well, they just lost to the Athletics, and they split with them. Not really good. And also this game. We'll talk about more. Peace out, guys. See you later, and stay cool.